The old well stood at the edge of the forgotten field. Grass reached up to its broken stones. Wind slid through the cracks like a thin whisper. I approached slowly. My footsteps pressed into the damp earth. The sun was fading behind the trees, turning everything a dull bronze. A strange chill wrapped around my arms. It felt as if someone was standing right behind me. I turned, but the field was empty. The well waited in front of me. Dark, silent, unmoving. I leaned closer. A sour smell rose from the depths. The air felt heavier, as if it carried secrets that had not been touched for years. I placed my hands on the stone rim. The surface felt warm, strangely warm, like a body that had just moved away. I pulled my hand back quickly. My palm tingled. Something was wrong. The warmth grew stronger. It crawled across the stones like a pulse. Slow, steady. A sound drifted upward from inside the well. Very soft at first. A faint tapping. Rhythmic. Measured. I bent forward, trying to see deeper. The darkness inside seemed thick. It did not look like the absence of light. It looked alive. The tapping grew louder. My heartbeat matched it. The sound moved higher, like something was climbing. A cold breath touched my face. It felt intentional. It felt aware. I froze. My fingers tightened around the rough stones. The darkness shifted. Something inside the well moved. Then I heard it, a voice rising from the deep. A single word carried upward in a broken whisper. My name. My breath caught in my throat. The sound of my own name echoed upward from the hollow darkness. It felt cold. It felt thin. It felt like something old had shaped the word carefully, as if it had needed time to remember how to form a human voice. I stepped back, but my legs trembled under me. The air around the well thickened. The wind stopped moving. Even the insects fell silent. The entire field held its breath. I stared at the opening. The darkness no longer felt like a shadow. It felt like an open mouth. Waiting, breathing, watching me. Another whisper rose. This time it stretched longer. My name again. Clearer, stronger, as if the thing within the well had grown more confident that I would hear it. The warmth on the stones turned hotter. It spread across the rim and crawled toward my hands. My skin prickled with a sharp sting. I pulled away. My palm was red, as if something had pressed against it from the other side of the stone. I wanted to run. My instincts screamed at me to leave the field and never return. But my feet did not move. Something held me there. Not a force, not a hand, a feeling, a heavy pull of curiosity mixed with dread. A sense that the well had been waiting for me specifically. Clouds drifted across the last edge of sunlight. The field dimmed. Shadows stretched across the grass like fingers. The air grew colder again. The warmth on the stones faded, replaced by a deep chill that seeped into my bones. The tapping returned. Faster now. Closer. I could hear it just beneath the surface of the darkness. It sounded like fingernails touching stone. Slow. Scraping. Determined. I leaned forward again, unable to stop myself. My heartbeat thudded painfully in my chest. The smell rising from the well changed. It no longer smelled sour. It smelled like wet soil. Fresh soil. Soil that had been disturbed recently. A faint light appeared deep within the well. A soft silver glow, flickering like a small flame underwater. It pulsed gently, expanding and shrinking as if breathing. I felt a vibration under my feet. The ground trembled lightly, almost unnoticeable at first. Then it grew stronger. The stones around the rim trembled. Dust rose into the air. A low hum filled the space. My name echoed again. This time it did not come as a whisper. It rose sharply, fully, formed, louder than before. The voice sounded tired. It sounded cracked. But it carried a desperation that chilled me deeper than the cold air. I took another step back. My heel struck a loose stone, and it rolled beneath my foot. The sound of it falling into the grass felt unnaturally loud. The voice in the well fell silent instantly. The humming stopped. The light dimmed. The field returned to stillness. But the silence did not feel like safety. It felt like expectation. Like the thing inside the well was listening carefully. I swallowed hard. My throat felt raw. The back of my neck tingled as if unseen eyes traced along my spine. I spoke. I should not have spoken. But the quiet demanded a response. My voice shook. Who is there? The words drifted into the well. Soft, fragile, vulnerable. For a moment nothing happened. Then the darkness beneath me rippled. A faint shape moved inside. Not clear, not solid, more like a shifting distortion, as if the air itself twisted into a fragile outline. A hand appeared, pale, long, thin, its fingers wrapped over the inner stones. They dragged upward slowly, leaving trails of moisture behind. The scraping sound grew louder as the nails scratched against the rock. My chest tightened. I could not breathe right. The shadows near the well flickered. The silver light below brightened suddenly, illuminating the rough walls inside. Another hand rose. Then the outline of a head. Hair hung soaked and heavy. Water dripped down the stones. The shape leaned forward, yet its face remained hidden in the shifting dark. A cold sensation swept across my skin. Not the natural cold of evening. A deeper cold. A cold that felt intelligent. A cold that felt aware of me. The shape paused, as if hesitating, as if deciding whether it should show itself. The voice returned, but this time it came from closer to the surface. Directly in front of me. I waited for you for a long time. The words were not spoken with anger. They were spoken with sorrow. Heavy sorrow. A sorrow so deep that it felt like it had soaked into the stones themselves over countless years. I stepped back again. My breath grew uneven. I felt for the grass behind me, but my fingers touched nothing. The ground felt wrong, as if the field had shifted slightly, as if the world around me had grown distorted while I was focused on the well. The shape climbed higher. Its shoulders emerged. Water flowed across the rim and dripped down the outer stones. The air turned colder still. A faint rustling sound rose behind me, but I could not look away. It felt dangerous to remove my eyes from the figure, as if turning my back would allow it to move faster, or closer. The shape leaned forward. The darkness around its head thinned. The outline of a face began to form. Eyes hidden, features unclear, yet familiar in a way that made my stomach twist. The voice spoke again, softer, closer, almost touching. You should not have come back. My heart slammed against my ribs. I had never been here before. I had never seen this well. I had no memory of anything connected to this place. Yet the voice spoke with certainty, with recognition, as if it knew every part of me. The wind returned suddenly, sweeping across the field in a sharp burst. The grass bent as one. The trees groaned. The sky darkened. The figure reached its hand toward me. Its wet fingers glistened in the fading light. I felt the cold move toward my chest. Closer, closer, as if it wanted to touch my heart directly. And then the ground behind me shifted. Something moved in the tall grass. Slow, deliberate, heavy. I tried to turn. My body resisted. My attention was trapped between the figure rising from the well and the presence approaching from behind me. The air tightened. The darkness thickened. And the voice from inside the well whispered again. It is not only me who waited for you. The presence behind me stepped closer. The grass parted in a slow ripple. The figure in the well lifted its face, and at last I saw the shape of its eyes. Not angry, not hollow, simply tired, deeply tired. A shadow moved at my back. I turned with a stiff breath. Something stood among the bending grass. Tall, still, almost human. Its outline wavered like smoke caught in a breeze. The figure inside the well spoke again. Its voice trembled, not with fear, with warning. You left us down here. Both of us. We waited for you to return. My pulse hammered. My memories felt untouched, yet something inside me stirred. A faint ache behind my eyes. A pressure deep within my chest, as if a forgotten truth pressed against the inside of my ribs. The tall shadow behind me took another slow step. Its movements were careful, measured, almost gentle. I faced the well again. The figure had risen fully now. Water pooled around its feet. Its face remained blurred, yet I sensed emotion radiating from it. Loss, pain, expectation. I never left anything here, I whispered, though my voice shook with doubt. The figure reached toward me again. Its fingers hovered just above my hand. The cold radiating from them felt ancient. You did, it said softly. You left a part of yourself with us. The field remembers it. The stones remember it. The water remembers it, even if you do not. The tall shadow in the grass moved closer. I could feel its presence at my shoulder. The air grew so cold that my breath rose in pale white clouds. The sky darkened further until only the faint silver glow from within the well lit the space around us. Then the figure inside the well lowered its hand. Its voice changed. Calm, resigned, almost peaceful. It is time for you to take back what you left. Time for us to rest. The ground trembled once more. A soft vibration ran across the stones. The water inside the well shimmered with light. The tall shadow stepped beside me, no longer hiding in the grass. It stood silent, as if guarding me, as if waiting for me to act. I looked down into the well. The light brightened until it washed over my face. Warmth spread across my skin, replacing the cold. The stones no longer felt threatening. The air no longer felt suffocating. Something deep inside me recognized this light. Not with memory, with instinct, with a strange sense of belonging. I reached toward it. My fingers trembled. The shadow beside me slowly bowed its head. The figure in the well stepped back, giving space, as if allowing me to reclaim something long lost. When my hand touched the glow, a rush of emotion surged through me. Warmth, fear, safety, loneliness, relief, and then clarity. A single image flashed in my mind. Not a place, not a face, only a feeling. A promise I had made long ago. A promise I had forgotten. The light faded softly. The figure inside the well stepped back into the darkness. Its shape dissolved like mist. The tall shadow behind me retreated into the grass. Its form broke apart into drifting strands of black that rose into the night air and vanished quietly. The field grew warm again. The wind returned. The world felt lighter, calmer, still touched by mystery, but no longer heavy with tension. The well stood silent, calm, no longer pulsing, no longer calling my name. I stepped away slowly. My legs trembled, but I felt a strange peace settle in my chest. The field behind me swayed gently, as if relieved, as if grateful. I looked back one last time. The well stood unchanged, yet everything around it felt different. As if something had finally ended. As if something had finally been set to rest. I turned toward the path home. The night air felt warm against my face. The distant trees whispered softly as I walked. And for the first time since I arrived, the field no longer watched me. Something had been reclaimed. Something had been released. The mystery of the old well was not solved. But it was complete.